Welcome to the second video from Volui Silver, or should I call it 1.5, because I still have COVID and I'm not in the casting shed, which is really annoying. So today I'm going to look at displacement maps again, and we're going to do a fun bar. I wasn't very happy with the orc bar we did. It was a very simple displacement map, and ideally I need to spend another 4 or 5 hours working on it to get him coming out perfectly. So instead we're going to do a Pac Man bar. It should be fun. We're going to be using Photoshop, but you can use any type of software you have, Paint, GIMP, it will all work. So anyway, let's get into it. So here we are in Photoshop. As I said, you can create this in any of free program or whatever program you're happy using. But the first thing I'm going to do is create a new layer, and I'm going to grab my Eclipse tool, and I want the around. I just need to change that color to white. White in the displacement map is high, black is low, and I want the body to be high. So this is going to be part of the ghost. That will work fine. I'm just going to create a new layer and merge those two together, and then I'm going to just get rid of part of the body, something like that. There, be fine. And I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to just drag it underneath the other one. I'll rename the layers in a minute, and we just need to try and match that up like that. That'll be fine. Use my fill tool, just fill it up and deselect it, and so basically we have our basic shape of a ghost. And I'm just going to merge these two together, and I'm just going to call that ghost. Very important to name your layers in Photoshop. Some of the displacement maps I've done before, they've had 60 plus layers in them, and it would get very confusing if you don't name your layers or group them together when you're working on certain things. But that's, up to you. So now I need to create the wave effect on the ghost bottom, and to do that I'm just going to be producing a rectangle round, something like that, make it square, and then that'll be fine. I'm going to rotate it, and about there is perfect. And now I'm going to duplicate it twice, and I'm going to spread them out, and you see why in a second. And this is going to create our effect. I just need to do some resizing second. Let's bring it down like that. Let's go up a bit, bring it down, and maybe actually let's give him a bit of movement, make it look like he's moving a certain direction. Something like that would be fine. Right, I'm going to merge these layers, and I'm going to select them, highlight them, click on the ghost tool and hit delete, and then hide them. And that would now give us our ghost wave effect on the base of it. So now we're going to create some eyes for him. Yet again, I'm going back, as you see the white colours here, and we're going to go for a little bit darker white. Would be fine, because if you remember what I said was, the lighter colour higher it is, the darker colour the deeper it goes. So we want to set this eyes a little bit inside, and we'll do something like that. Will be fine. And yet again I'm going to duplicate it and move that across like so, and then I'm going to create another one, but we're going to create a new layer first, and we're going to make these a little bit dark as well, something like that will be fine. And we want these to be circles. we want the eyeballs to be one side, and we're going to duplicate that one, and we'll bring it in like that. So there we have our basic ghost, and from here we can add in other bits and pieces, or eyebrows, mouth if you wanted to. You can give it a dicky bow tie, a tie, whatever you wanted to do. Next we're going to look at doing actually the Pac Man. Okay, so let's start building our Pac Man. So I've already got the Eclipse tool selected, and we're already set to white, and basically I'm just going to draw a big circle. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's centralize it a bit so it's easier. Actually, let's bring it to the left side. I'm going to create a new layer, just merge those two, and now I'm going to actually create a second new layer, and this time I'm going back for my rectangle tool, and I'm going to create a square. And I'm going to rotate it 45 degrees, and this will be the mouth eventually. That's fine. Create a new layer, and I'm going to highlight this, click on the body again and hit delete and hide, and now we have our Pac Man with his mouth open. And same things before with the eyes and the ghost. We're going to do the same on the Pac Man, but pick the slightly darker grey, lighter grey if you know what I mean. Draw out our eye again, so that will be fine, and maybe put it about there. Create a new layer, and yet again I'm going to make this one a little bit darker again. Make Eclipse tool, something like that would be fine. Didn't want to do that. Let's move this in, and now we have our Pac Man. One simple Pac Man, 2 minutes to do. Now we need to look at bringing it all together. This is where you can have a bit more fun, and you can experiment a bit more. So now we have our main components, the ghost and the Pac Man made. It's time to start building the rest of the bar. First thing I need to do, I've already created my first layer and called it back. We're doing 800 pixels by 1200 pixels and still at 72 dpi. You can use whatever best for you. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to grab the rectangle round edge tool again, and this time I wanted to create, it's just going to create the edge of the bar, and that looks pretty equal. Yeah, about there will be fine. And I'm going to create 2 new layers. First one I'm going to merge with that one, and I'm going to create a second new layer like so, and I'm going to highlight that, get my paint tool, and let's hide that one and do that. Okay, we don't need this layer, top layer anymore, so I can go straight in the bin. So we now have our border for the bar. Now I want the background of the bar, the back piece of the bar, to be graduated down. So we're going to use the graduation tool, and how this is going to work is basically white is the high points of the displacement map, and black is the really low point, and anything in between are the different graduations. So I've already got set the white and black. I'm going to go and grab my graduation tool, and from the top run it all the way down, hold my shift key to keep it nice and straight, and I'm going to drag that underneath, and now we have our graduation. Now from here we can start to bring in our components. So I'm going to grab our ghost first of all, but the first thing I'm going to do is just merge those down. Control and A, Control and C to copy it, and once I've copied it I'm going back to my history and change. Don't want to merge, keep it merged. Let's bring it in. As you see, he's looking a bit big. You see little whites here. So here, we'll sort that out in a second, but let's resize them first. We want him to be, yeah, about there. Alright. And let's apply that, and I did notice I have a piece there. Get rid of that. Okay, so we got him in. Now let's look at bringing in Pac Man, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to merge in the layers we want. Control and A to select it all. Control and C to copy. And we'll bring him back. Actually, let's just go back to merge those. Bring him in. And let's just resize him as well and have Pac Man about there. And make him a bit bigger. And I think our ghost we're going to have to move over. Yeah, I got like him like that. Let's move the ghost over a bit more. And we could have that, like that would work well. Yeah, that could work. Right, now if you remember in the game Pac Man, so I'm going to create a new layer a second. Let's just do it up the top. And if you remember rightly, he had dots. He goes around eating. So grab the eclipse tool again. And this time I'm going to do a darker grey. I don't want him to be, this might be too light. No, that's perfect because they're going to be a little bit, they're going to be indented in. Actually, maybe it's just, yeah, we're in between there. A little bit. That'd be fine. So we need to duplicate this one. Should be able to get 3 in. Yeah, look at that. And duplicate it again. So we have our 3 dots. Now the thing is, we don't know who's eating who here. Ghost could be chasing Pac Man. Pac Man could have gone the wrong way, and I'm happy with that. That's how I want it. So next thing we want to do is bring some text to it. And I want to use stencil, which is already done, and I want to use, I don't want it to be too indented in, so let's have, don't eat me. Okay, and let's realign this. Let's put it, make it a fraction smaller, and let's rotate it a bit. Done. So here we have our very basic, simple Pac Man bar. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it all into Blender, and we'll build it right from scratch. So here we are in Blender. First thing we're going to do is just highlight the whole of this and delete it off. We don't need it for now. I'm going to change the unit size in scene because we need to work in millimeters. So I'm going to change this to 0.001. I'm going to change the length to millimeters, and I'm just going to change the grid overlay as well to 0.001. So this has now set our scene up to work in millimeters. Right, so we now need to bring in a mesh. We're going to bring in a cube, and what we're going to do is just change its size, and we're going to do 40 by 60, and we're going to change the depth of it to 4. So basically right now we just have, well, a rectangle. You could cast this and it would come out as a silver or brass bar, just as it is, but we need to add our displacement map on we were working on. Now if we just bring it straight in, nothing's going to happen. We have to subdivide up the top surface, and to do that we're going to go to edit mode, and I'm going to select the top surface. As you see, perfectly selected, and we need to subdivide it. So right click, subdivide, and I'm going to increase this to 10. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it once more. Bingo, and we're there. If I do it any more than that, then my machine will crash in. To be honest with you, we're subdivided enough. So now we're going to go to object mode. We're going to go into modifiers, and we're going to add in displace, and you find that in the deformed section. So just click displace. Now you're going to notice straight away that your bar has changed, a bit of funny shape. Don't worry about that. We're just going to change the mid levels to 1. We're going to change the strength to 0.5. We're going to click new, and we're going to click open, and then we're going to select our design. And there we have it. We now have our Pac Man ghost bar into Blender. And as you can see, we have a graduation that runs through the bar, which we did in Photoshop using white as high point and black as the low point. And you can see that as well in the Pac Man himself, the eye and the ghost. And the text is indented in. Now, just remember with displacement map, the more detail you add in, the harder it is to get a really good cast and sand. There's a really fine line which you can walk on. For example, Una in the line bar, I had grave concerns about casting that one. I thought there was way too much detail on her. The tattoo on her stomach I didn't think would come out, but it did. The folds in her jeans, the belt buckle, and also the line. There was so much that could have gone wrong with that bar design, but fortunately it came out alright. So remember, sometimes less is more. In this case, you can see here with the Pac Man bar, simplicity works well. That's for this. I'm going to do some more work to it. There's going to be a back to it as well, but this will be a giveaway bar. So when we get to 50 subscribers, we will give this away as a brass one, probably do 4 or 5 of them, and that will be on Stacker Social as a giveaway. When we get to 100, we would do it in 925 silver, and when we get to 150, we would do it in 999 as a giveaway. So if you're not a member of Stacker Social, the link to the school group is in the description. It's a fun place to be, lots of kind and wonderful people there. And that's it for now, and I do hope next time we will be in the casting shed and I would have kicked this COVID. So keep safe and have fun, and see you soon. Bye bye.